part 12, when my best friend set me up to be unalived and I was shot 5 times while 18 weeks pregnant. So when I leave the courtroom that day that my best friend testified, I'm livid, y'all. I'm so mad you could see the smoke coming out of my ears. So I go straight to the state attorney. And I'm like, did you know that he was going to say that when you put him on the stand? This lady looked me right in my face and said, yes, I did. So now I'm confused. I'm stressing, how could you put him on the stand knowing that he was going to say that? And how could you not tell me that that is what he was going to say? So that's when she tells me that they needed a motive to go to trial. And even though I had told her about everything that happened at the gambling house, my best friend would not confirm that story. Because if he did, it would implicate him in another crime. And when he came forward to testify, this is the motive that he gave them. And she didn't tell me because she knew how I would react. So that shit right there made me angry. So now I want to know, when is my best friend gonna go to trial? Y'all, this lady said that they would not be pressing any charges against my best friend for anything related to my shooting. I couldn't believe it. What you mean you not pressing any charges? So because I was the only one that could identify the shooter and the only one that came forward, they needed his testimony. And because they needed his testimony, they chose not to press any charges against him. So I'm telling her, that's not good enough. So he just gets to walk free for what he did to me. And I'm also stressing, what more do you need than my testimony? Like, I am the person that was shot, and I am telling you who shot me. What better witness is there? And she on some, he's not walking free. He's serving 10 years for the things that they found in his house when they came and served the search warrant. She looked me in my face and said, sometime is better than no time. We just have to take what we can get. I couldn't even say nothing, y'all. I just turned and walked away. I was so fucking mad. So I'm coming back the next day to testify. And I'm always having to manage my emotions. So I'm angry, I'm confused, I'm nervous, I'm anxious. Like, I'm just ready to have the opportunity to speak my truth. And when I take the stand, at first, everything is cool, calm, and collected. The prosecutor is questioning me and she's asking me all the things. What happened? Who shot you? Do you see him here today? You know, the regular rigmarole. So then it becomes the defense's turn to question me. And at first, the lawyer was real smooth. He apologized to me for what I had been through and what my child had been through, what my family went through, blah, blah, blah. And baby, that man went from 0 to 100 in the blink of an eye. First, he brought up my street life and how I was living. He painted me as this out of control, unstable, street person that would do anything for $1. Then he asked me, do you know what a lie is? So I said, yes, I know what a lie is. And then he asked me, have you ever told a lie? Now, I would be a liar if I sat here and said, no, I've never told a lie. So I said, yes, I have. So then he said, are you lying now? And I said, no, I'm not lying now. Why would I want the person that shot me to go free? If I'm lying on your client, then that means the person that shot me is still out there. So then he asked, have you ever lied about the paternity of any of your children? What the fuck? So my response was, I don't understand what that has to do with the reason why we're here today. And he said, we're just trying to get a feel of your character. My character? Baby. So then this man says, have you ever unalived anyone? Y'all, my insides started boiling because I already know where he's headed with this. You feel me? So I held my head high and I looked him right in his face and I said, yes, I have. So he said, are we speaking on the incident that happened a few years prior with the young man that you were dating at the time? And I said, yes, I am. Because a couple years before this, I was a victim of domestic violence. I was in an abusive relationship, and one day my boyfriend at the time attacked me and stabbed me. And during that attack, he ended up losing his life. So he said, how do you know that it was not his family seeking revenge? How do you know that they are not the ones that shot you? And I looked at him and I said, because I saw who shot me. And it was your client, the enforcer, who shot me. When I tell y'all the person that I had become over the last couple of years was put to the test that day when I was on the stand, this man dragged my name through the mud and tried to push every button I had, y'all. When I got off the stand that day, I felt terrible on the inside. Here I am, a victim of a heinous crime, and I'm here. I'm being vulnerable. I'm speaking my truth. I'm seeking justice for something that was done to me. And I get on the stand and I'm victimized all over again. And that day, I fully understood why many women who are victims of abuse don't come forward. We're never believed. We always have to prove that it is something that we did not deserve. So after I testified, they informed us that the enforcer would not be taking the stand in his own defense. So now it is time for jury deliberations. So the jury is out deliberating, and I am all over the place. You know, a part of me is feeling all of these terrible emotions, but another part of me is kind of relieved because I'm like, okay, this is finally over. I can finally move forward with the next chapter of my life. So we come back in from jury deliberations, and I got my head down and I'm praying. I'm talking to my mama and I'm listening. And the next thing that I hear is the jury could not come to a decision. We have a hung jury, y'all. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I got up and I walked out the courtroom and I waited for the state attorney. And when she came out there, baby, I was ready to give her a piece of my mind. So she's stressing, calm down. We're going to get him. We're going back to trial. Not only is he going back to trial for this, he's about to go to trial because a few years before he tried to unalive me, he unalived someone else, and a witness has come forward. Just trust me. And baby, I don't trust you. Look at what you just put me through. There's no way that I trust you. So I leave the courtroom that day. I'm broken. I'm defeated. I'm deflated. But I got to pick up and I got to keep moving. So life goes on. Some time passed and I end up getting a call from the state attorney. And I'm expecting her to call me to tell me that we're about to go to trial. So she says, I have some good news and I have some bad news. So I'm like, what's up? And she says, we're going to offer him a deal. A deal? What you mean you're going to offer him a deal? She says that there was an incident at the jail where another prisoner tried to take a guard's life, and the enforcer stepped in and saved the guard's life. And because of that, they would be offering him a deal of 12 years. Y'all, I snapped. My daughter can't wake up in 12 years and say, I don't want to be disabled no more. I can't wake up in 12 years and erase everything that has happened to me over the last few years. I can't wake up in 12 years and have my mama back. And she basically said that there was nothing that they could do, that they had already offered him the deal. She was just giving me a courtesy call to let me know how the case had ended. So then I asked about the big homie, and she said they would not be pressing charges against him either because the enforcer refused to say that he was involved. So my best friend got 10 years, the enforcer got 12 years, the big homie was never arrested, and the justice system failed me and my family. And that is the story of how my best friend set me up to be unalived, and I was shot 5 times while 18 weeks pregnant. I want to thank everybody for their love and support. It really meant a lot to me for you guys to go with me on this journey.